A secret,
What is a secret?
to my understanding, a secret is sensitive knowledge that one holds in confidence from another.
I would define a secret as anything you want to keep to yourself completely. Something that is going to stay only inside your mind unless someone's really special and you want to share it with them.
I think a secret is something that maybe we just don't necessarily like open up or tell to other people. It doesn't have to be something big, or it could be something big, maybe just something we wouldn't naturally share.
You know, you don't tell other people, someone tells you it in confidence, you know, and there's like this kind of like unspoken agreement that you're not gonna run and say, oh, you know what I just heard, and like, you know, just you keep it to yourself, you know?
It's information that you don't want generally available to everyone who you meet or knows you. It's information that's valuable to a select group of people and only that group of people.
I guess a secret is something that you keep close and then let out to the right people, or maybe it's something people don't know about you and you just tell people.
Okay, hi. So you have a secret. Can you tell us the details of your secret and like tell us how it started?
So I would say the year was 2013. My mom started dating her current boyfriend, and I was 16 at the time, and I really did not like anybody she was bringing around. And so my mom got serious with this guy, and he would come over a lot for dinner and like hang out at night, never in the day because he works a lot, but I just for some reason really found him awful. So it was always my duty at dinner to set the table. When I would put down the silverware at his place setting, I would lick his spoons and I would put them down. And I don't know how many times I've done that. I'm a little embarrassed by it, more so now than when it was actually happening. Yeah, now we're like super close. We're kind of just like this now, which is that's the embarrassing part. That's the worst part, is that I feel remorse because I care about him now.
You can't unlick a spoon.
I remember one time I was in high school with my friends, and we used to have this, in our town there was this abandoned house that we would go to hang out all the time, and so the backyard would level down like at least 100 yards into the Hudson River. And we noticed how there was this rowboat there that was always there, and we would, take it out occasionally, just use it when we wanted to. And then one day we thought, well, if this house is abandoned, why don't we just, claim this as our own? So me and my two friends made a plan for that night where we were gonna go there and we were going to take the boat. And we picked a rendezvous point, which was maybe a mile down the river at this apartment complex where we thought there was a dock. But the first problem was that there wasn't a dock. And so people started coming outside and asking questions and looking at us. And so we just sort of didn't pay, much mind to them. We got the boat, we took it out of the water, we hauled it up to the minivan, we threw it in the back of the minivan, and it didn't fit in the minivan. So we had to come up with a plan B. We figured this boat was no longer gonna be ours, but we didn't want anyone to call the police, and we didn't want to go to jail. So what we did was, we got back in the boat, back in the water, and we decided to row it back to where we got it from, return it safe and sound. So we're rowing fast, it's getting colder, we're getting wet, and then we're probably about 20, 30 yards away from where we need to be. I don't know who it was or what it was, but all of a sudden we got illuminated in the water because it was dark. And all of a sudden we got lit up, and there was a large, vessel-looking thing that lit us up with their spotlight and started to come after us. So naturally, we rowed faster and faster and faster until we got back to the place where the boat was, put the boat back, ran up the hill, got in our car, and now I'm here.
The secret that I want to share today is I think about death a lot. And death as in terrible things that could happen to me or people that I love. But I've come to learn that that's a very common fear that people have. And I think for me it's a secret because I don't think people brand me as a worry wart, and I think I am a worry wart sometimes. But I don't come off as that. I think I'm a good multitasker, so I can appear calm. And then in my head, I'm like thinking, oh, like, terrible things happening to my family. Or when I'm driving, I'm like, oh my God, anything could happen right now. Like, it comes out most when I'm most excited about what I'm about to do. I'm like, I really want to do, I'm really excited about this one thing, and I cannot die right now. Like, I just cannot die right now. And so I just spend my time thinking about that. I guess it's a secret because not many people know or can tell that. That's a thing that I think about. Like I said, I think it's a common fear that a lot of people have. Is they don't want anything to happen to their family, but I think a lot of people maybe show it on their faces, or their friends know them as like, oh, you're just like worrying all the time. But I think the thing with secrets, maybe specifically that one, is that the more that you are vocal about it and that you share, you unpack it and you kind of depower that. And so you can kind of feel more ease the more you share. So yeah, thank you for helping me.
So my biggest secret is that I got arrested for selling weed. It was the first semester of my freshman year, and I was rooming with one of my close friends from high school. Throughout high school, we smoked a lot of weed, like a lot of weed, and we continued that into college. Eventually, we ran low on money, so my roommate had the idea to start selling. I wanted nothing to do with it from the get-go, but eventually I got talked into it. I figured that we smoked a lot of weed anyway, so why not make money while doing it? Like I said, it was the first semester of my freshman year, and I was living in a freshman dorm. So everybody wanted weed, and no one knew where to get it. That's where we came in. We started off only selling to close friends, but eventually people started catching wind, and we started selling to everybody in our dorms. Eventually to other people in other dorms as well. People came to us because they knew us, and we were sold for a lower price than a lot of the other dealers on campus. We were selling for about a month. It was a gradual process, but we would always break even every time we got a bag, and we always had a couple $100s for ourselves. Eventually, hundreds turned to thousands, and we were making bank. I just wanted to stop. I had the bad feeling that we'd get in trouble for what we were doing, so I figured it'd be better to just quit while we were ahead. My roommate agreed, but he wanted to sell one last bag and make $5,000. I think it was about a quarter pound. It was just basically a giant Ziploc bag full of weed. I was skeptical about the whole thing, but eventually I agreed. I thought, like, oh, what's one last week I'm gonna do? Like, what, this is gonna be like a last hurrah. We'll have all the money we need for the rest of the year, and we can do fun shit while we're at it. So we went to our dealer, we got the bud, and we went back to our dorm. Not even 15 minutes later, I heard a knock at our door, and I saw 2 officers standing right in front of me. My heart sank. I could just feel myself getting pale, and I just, frankly, I thought I was going to be sick. They searched our room, and they found our stuff, and next thing I knew, I was put in cuffs, thrown in the back of a cop car, and brought to the station. Luckily, my roommate turned himself in, and we got a lesser charge. It went from a felony to a Class A misdemeanor, which is the step below. Honestly, I'm just glad it happened when it did, because eventually we probably would have ended up in jail. So yeah, that's all I got from my story, my secret.
Okay, so my secret is, which not all of it is a secret, but it leads up to the secret that I'm holding right now. When I was a freshman, my first semester, I was raped, and I overdosed to deal with that. And then to deal with those situations, I pretty much had sex with anyone to get used to being, or rather, how's a good way to say this? To get used to the situation that I was put in. And so now I'm talking to this guy for a couple months, and I really like him, and he really likes me. And he drops the L-bomb all the time and always says, I love you, and I'm not at that point, so I always just say it back, so he won't leave. and so I don't disappoint him. I feel like a bitch. I don't feel too good about it because I don't know how to talk about it to him, and I really just don't want to disappoint anyone. Secrets I've held? I don't know. There's probably so many that, like, you know, come and go through the years, but after a while they all, like, don't become secrets anymore. You know, as you grow as a person, as you change as a person, like, secrets don't become as relevant or as important to you anymore, so you just kind of say them. Or, like, you grow and get over your secrets.